Good day. Today I want to cover the COS2614 2023 Assessment 1, Question 2. They're talking about Qt classes and UML. So we're going to be working with a UML diagram this time. Okay. So question 2. Implement the following classes in the UML class diagram according to the description that follows. So you can see here you've got a vendor and then you've got a product, and then these are obviously the variable names, okay, and their data types, and then this is functions, okay. So this is the default constructor, this is a set details one, is manufacturer, get name, and then the toString, okay. So you got your getters and your setters, and over here it's also you got your variable names and the data types that they've got here, and then the same here is your functions with your member variables and the data types of those member variables. Okay, so it says a product is described using a name, a price, and a supplier. The supplier and the manufacturer can be the same for a product. A product is initialized using a name and a price. Okay, so that we can see here, product, name, and price. Okay. The supplier details are set using the function setSupplier. So there we've got our function setSupplier, and then that one takes name, email, and is manufacturer. Okay. So setSupplier, which invokes a suitable function of vendor to set the details of the vendor. If one requests a product for its manufacturer, it returns the name of the vendor stored in the mSupplier. If it is set as the manufacturer, otherwise an unknown string is returned. toString of the vendor returns a string representation of the values of its data members in a readable format. toString of product always returns a string representation of a product. If supplier details in toString of product is true, it returns both the supplier and the product details. Otherwise, only product details are returned. Implement it as a console application where the product and supplier details are entered from the keyboard. Display the results of get manufacturer name and toString for both true and false parameter values on the console. Okay, so we know that this is a console application, and we know that we've got to work based on this UML diagram. Alright. So first we're going to get our computer up, and then we're going to load our Qt creator. Okay, let's just scroll down. We got our Qt creator. Okay, as you can see, I've got just last few projects that I did. So I'm going to create a new project. Okay, and as you heard, it's a Qt console application. Alright, so I'm going to choose this one. Okay, and then I'm going to click on choose, and instead of well, I'm happy to leave it with assignment 1, but now I'm just going to label this as question 2. Okay, and then I'll choose next. I'm happy to leave it as a desktop MinGW app. Okay, and I'm not going to use any version control, so I'm not going to do that. Just going to click on finish. This is the default template that we get. As you can see, it's just got hashtag include QCore application, and then it's got our simple int main and our arguments, and then the QCore application and the return a exact. And as mentioned in the previous video, I normally take this return a exact out, and I just say return 0 on all mine. Okay, yeah, if you try and run it, it'll just run a blank application. It should basically run one, open it and close it. It might stay open. I think I had one where it just stayed open. Yeah, there we go. This is nice. It comes up with a console window. I press enter and it goes out. So the first thing that we have to do is we want to create a class. And so with classes, as you probably know, you've got a header and a main.cpp file. And as you know, we've got two classes that we need to create. So I'm going to click on file, and then I'm going to, am I going to do file? I think it's file, or just maybe right click over here and say add new. There we go. And I'll click on C class. So there it's got a new file. Okay, go choose, and then it wants a class name. So my first class is gonna be called product. Okay, so product. Product is not a base class of anything, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is, and I'm just gonna click on next. Yes, I want to add it to my question 2 profile, so I'll go finish. And so that's what I should have actually shown you, is if you look here, you can see this is what the Q profile looks like. There's a plus equals core and a minus equals GUI, and then at the bottom here it shows you target is question 2, it's a console app, and then the app bundle. Okay, and now you can see it had my main CPP file, and then it's got the product CPP and the product H, which is the header file. Alright, so the next one I want to add is the vendor one. So I can either do that, I think I'm going to try it on this, go new file, yeah, so I still get the same option, choose, and I'm going to say vendor. Yeah, I'm not going to create it as a base class of anything. I'm just going to leave it with that, and it's going to create this vendor H and vendor CPP. So now you'll see there's my CPP and my vendor H, and if I go here, you'll see it's also added the files automatically to my QPro project. Okay, so from this one I'm going to obviously save all so that I know, and now I'm going to start declaring what is on my sheet over here. So the first things is we've got an M name of QString and an M email of QString, and an M is manufacturer, which is type Boolean. Okay, and as you know, or maybe you don't know, but whenever you're working with a variable in a class, you want to make that private so that it's only available to that specific class. So I'm going to define private over here, and then as mentioned, I'm creating QString. Okay, and the first variable is M name. Okay, and then we want to create another QString, and this one is M email, and then we want to create a Boolean of M is manufacturer. Okay, and what you'll notice is the QString at the moment is got a black on it, so that means that I haven't defined, or QString is not included, so I have to include that. I have to include, yeah, hashtag include, and we've got to include QString. Okay, so now it should actually change. QString shouldn't be black, but I see it is, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Maybe when I compile it, it'll give me something, but that's fine. Just need to remember to include it. Okay, the next thing that I want to do is obviously go onto my vendor and start declaring my functions over here. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. So we've got our default constructor, which is our vendor over here, so we're happy with that. The next one is our set details, so we're going to go void and set details, and if we have a look at our thing, set details has got a Q string, and a boolean. So those are the three that initiate this. Okay, so let's go Q string, okay, and that'll be the name, then the Q string of the email, and then finally the boolean, and we'll say is manufacturer. Okay, we mustn't forget our semicolon. Alright, then we're going to call a boolean function is manufacturer. Okay, and then a Q string of get name. Okay, and then a Q string of to string. Okay, now all of these three are actually getters. Okay, and so in order for getters, we don't want to allow getters to make any changes, so we have to use const. Okay, so that we know that these are getters and they are not setters. Okay, alright, so that sorts out our header file for our vendor for now. Okay, the next part is to obviously fill in our vendor CPP file, and so we've already got our default constructor which is compiled over here, so we're happy with that. Then the next part is the set detail, so I'm going to actually just copy this here, and I just need to select that there. Alright, let's go to our vendor, and we are there and there. Okay, and don't forget we've got to define our class, which is vendor over here. Vendor, and then we are assigning a property, and so what I do is I normally just copy these values, so name, email, all of those are going to be filled in here. So we're going to have name equals to the name, okay, email equals the email, and then finally is, okay, there it says is manufacturer equals is manufacturer. Alright, so that will now set the detail, okay, and set those variables that we need. Alright, and then the next one is our get name. So I'm just going to go to vendor, and I want to go here, get name. Okay, I'm actually just going to do in my order here, bool, and go here, Control V, and okay, there, and we specifying vendor. Okay, and all we're going to do is return is manufacturer. here, and let's get our Q string. Okay, and making it part of the vendor class. Okay, and then we are returning our M name. And then our vendor, we want this one. Okay, and that's part of the vendor class. ToString. Okay, I'm not going to fill in this information yet. I'm going to proceed to do the next class. The next class is our product. Okay, so for our product, we actually want to include a Q string here. Okay, hashtag include Q string. Okay, and because if we have a look at this this UML diagram, product is something to do with the class. It's like a derivative class of vendor. So in order to use that, we need to include the that class in here. So we're going to go include vendor H. Okay, so that we've got the whole vendor class basically coming in. And then for product, we're not going to have a blank default constructor. We're actually going to initialize it with two inputs, and this will be Q string and name, and this will be double and price. Okay, and I've forgotten to declare my variables. My variables that we're wanting for product is M name of type Q string, and M price of double, and M supplier as vendor. Okay, so let's go ahead here. Q string, and we want M name. Okay, don't know why it doesn't want to. Yeah, there we go. Double M price, and then vendor M supplier. Okay, then now we want our functions defined, and so our next function is the set supplier. So we're going to go void, and we say set supplier, and that supplier is got Q string and name. Okay, Q string and email. Bool is manufacturer. Okay. Okay, and that's it. So where are you going? Where's this mouse? Okay, so the next one is our Q string, and we're saying get manufacturer. Okay, name, and that is going to be a const because of the getter. Okay, q string to string. We're going to pass this a Boolean variable of supplier details, and this is a const. Okay, so that's the end of our header for products. Okay, now we're going to go and define the main product, and as you know, we don't have a base default constructor, so we're going to change this to qstring and name, and then double and price. But the catch over here is that we're going to initialize actually 3 variables, so mName, and that will be passed to name. Okay, and mPrice as price, and then finally mSupplier. Okay, and then we just open and close the brackets like. Then our next function we're going to define under products is our void setup. Void set supplier. We go here and we go to products. We go there and don't forget to declare it as a product class. Okay, and then in this product class we wanting to set the details, so we go m_supplier dot set details. Okay, and then we're going to set the name, email, and is manufacturer. I missed the C out. Okay, then the next one for product is this one, get manufacturer name. Okay, so we go here, we declare the product class. Okay, go to the end, there we go, and we basically say if m_supplier is a manufacturer, okay, then we return m_supplier dot get name. Else we return unknown. Okay, and then for product, the last one that we get is this one, to string. Okay, and we go to product, paste it here, we go and move it here, product, okay, there, okay, and this one is toString supplier details. Okay, I want to create a QString called product, and QString, and we're going to say product name, and then our argument, so that's it, %1, %1. Okay, and then we want our price, and that will be %2. Oops, I want to see there. Okay, and then we put our arguments, and the first argument is mName. Okay, and the second argument is mPrice. Then we say if supplier details okay, then we say product dot append QString, and we're going to add a comma, and we want our argument, so we're just putting %1, and then we're going to say argument, and we say m supplier, and we call the toString function. Okay, put that in, and basically we want to return our product. Okay, so then that is that class fully defined. Okay, now I'm going to return back to my vendor class, and you can see this toString. So I'm going to define a QString variable of true or false. Okay, and I'm going to say this is equals to m underscore is manufacturer, okay, is true. Alright, true or false. Then we're going to return, oops, why did that go on there? Okay, we want that down there and that there. QString, we're going to return QString, and we're going to say vendor name %1, email %2, manufacturer %3. Okay, and then what we're going to do is put our arguments in here. Our arguments, and the first one is our mName. Okay, the second one, second argument is our mEmail, and then our third argument is our true or false. Okay, so that completes our vendor. We're now going to move on to our main. Okay, and you saw our main was bare like this, so we need to remember to include two things here, and the one is QTextStream. Include QTextStream. Okay, and we also need to include our product.h. Since our product.h already includes the vendor.h, it will automatically be pulled in. Okay, and so inside our main, I'm going to actually take a lot of these arguments out. I'm going to take this all out. And I'm going to take this Qt core application out. And I'm going to first declare a QTextStream. I'm going to say cout, which is std out. Okay, and then I want another QTextStream, and I want it to be my cin, and this is std in. Okay, then I'm going to create 3 Q strings. So we're going to have p name, product name, vendor name, and vendor email. Okay, and then I want a double of the product price, and then I want a character of is manufacturer. Okay, and then I'm going to use my cout and say product details. Okay, I'm going to create a new line, and on the next line I'm going to say my cout, and I'm going to say enter product name and press enter. Then I'm going to use the cout flush command. Okay, and I'm going to have the p name equals sin and read line, so that it takes the whole line. Okay, then I'm going to cout, I'm going to say enter product price and press enter. I'm going to flush it out again. And I'm going to create a Q string of price. And I'm going to read the price into program. And then I'm going to say the p price equals whatever price is taken in from the Q string and convert it to a double. Alright, and then I'm going to make a call to product class, and I'm going to call my p for product, and then we're going to set the name and the price. Okay, then I'm going to output, enter supplier name and press enter. I do prefer having a spaces in between these things, so let me do it that way. Not that one, not that one. Yeah. Okay, and then we go there and there. And I want to flush again. Now I'm going to set the vendor name, rename equals sin dot read line. Okay, and then I want to output enter the email and press enter, and then I'm going to set the email. Read line, but you'll notice I've forgotten to use my flush, so let me just copy this. I want to flush out the line. Okay, and then I want to see out what's happening here. Is this supplier the manufacturer of this product? Yes or no? So instead of writing yes or no, I'm going to just put Y or N. Y or N, okay. And then I'm going to put here enter. Okay. And then we're going to still do our flush. Okay. And then we're going to call our sin, and we're saying is manufacturer. Then saying our boolean yes or no equals is man f equals y, then true or false. P set supplier, and doing our vname, v email, and our yawn, yes or no. We're going to then create a new line. Okay, and we're going to say our cout product details without supplier information. And we want it on a new line. Okay. P dot to string. Okay. And that's if it's false. I'm going to create 2 new lines. And then we're going to say our output product details with supplier information. To string when this is true. Two new lines. Then cout our manufacturer details of the product. Okay, and that completes it. So now we should be able to run it. Hopefully there's no errors. Yep, there's no errors. You're getting this screen. They haven't given us any sample data to run here, so I don't know what to test it on. But I'll leave you guys to carry on and test it. Yeah. I hope this video has been helpful and informative. Thank you for watching. All the best with COS2614. Thank you very much. Goodbye.